It's August 29th, and we got a good start on this field at Shookner's. Gerard's down here on the south end of the field chopping.
This chopper is FP230. It's got a kernel processor. That's 2 rolls that the corn all has to go through, silage, and it smashes all the kernels, breaks them apart. That way you get better feed value out of your corn and your silage. And the corn cobs are all totally broke up. You won't find any corn cobs in the silage in the feed box when we're feeding this silage. The chopper, this is our 3rd season using it for corn, and it is not it's a New Holland chopper, but it's got a Dion 3-row head on it, and it is not a row head. It is one where you can chop crossways across the field, and it picks the corn up that way. It's a good head, but if you got down corn, it does not do as good as a row head does. This controls the chopper. I run the spout with this back and forth, up and down to fill the wagon. It also is a forward and reverse. If the head plugs up on corn or something, then you got to hit these buttons here and reverse it and try to get it unplugged. There's your power button.
How many acres is out here?
This is probably about 19 acres total. Is what this field is. And we just broke it open today. Neighbor Andy Feldig, he has a self-propelled chopper, and he opened all our fields up where we want to chop with silage. He did about 12 loads to get everything opened up. And then we took over, and this is load number 17 that I've chopped so far, but not all off this field. We did 9 loads off of a different field. That's going in for silage. Putting all this in concrete bunker right now. Once we get the bunker full, we'll cover that tomorrow. And then the next thing we'll go on to will be the silage bags. When we had Feldigs come in, instead of a 3-row, they have a 4-row on their self-propelled chopper, which makes it makes it nice. That way we can get through the middle of the fields easily with our tractors, because they have duals. They don't have the duals on, but they got the axles on for the mount the duals on, and that usually they stick out to where they'll catch the corn rows and knock them down.
About how much total acreage do you have in corn that you're going to chop?
Maybe 75 acres. Just depends on how much it yields. If we don't need it all, we got one field that we can shell out. It's corn that can go either way, for silage or for shell out. I'm trying to get my headlands all chopped off, and everything will be up and down once I get that done. The other end's all done. I just got to get this here end off. But once I get the headlands off, then I'll be going just back and forth. But I'll split apart, and I'll pick out a certain side of the field that I want to get done first. Some of the corn is a little drier. I got 2 different numbers in this field. One number is a little greener, and it kind of blends in as you chop or when you run it in the bunker.
How did you decide to start today?
Well, we checked cut some by hand and threw it through the chopper 3 days ago, and had the local feed company test it for moisture, and found out what the moisture was, and found out that it was getting drier than we thought. So it was time to get started before we before it gets too dry. One wagon is sitting on the end of the field. My brother is going to come, Ben. He's going to bring a spare tire off the older wagon, but it's a good tire, and he's going to try to get that jacked up, get the old flat tire off, and get the new one on. That wagon's got a third of a load on, and then once he gets it fixed, I'll finish filling it up so they can take it home and unload it.
How did you know?
That the tire was flat?
Yeah.
I was turning on the end, and I just happened to look back. I don't always see that kind of stuff. It was a back tire, but the way I turned on the end, I looked and I seen that tire wobbling out to the side, like about ready to come off the rim. So I just pulled off to the side where it would be out of the way, and he could work on it.
So it's kind of lucky to see it before.
Yeah.
Sam's been hauling away the full loads, and here he's getting some instructions from Gerard.
This chopper head, you have to start kicking in gear slow. You gotta be at an idle. You can't just throw it in real fast, you'll shear the pins. Notice now I'm cutting across the headlands with this head to get to my rows up here, because I don't have them headlands cut off of that part of the field yet. I run this head with the second hydraulic lever. It's easier to keep it right on the road with the hydraulic lever versus the steering wheel of the tractor. Because I just barely move it, and it'll move the head right to where I need it to be on the road. Coming. Unfortunately, you have to have ditches in your field so you drain the water, but it makes it worse this time of year for chopping because it's harder on your equipment, harder on the wagons when they go across them ditches. Right here, what we're chopping is all the husks are dried up. That is a brand of corn that is a little drier than the others. And as we get through this strip along here, then you'll notice, well, I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you look behind the chopper, or the next pass that we come along here, the husks are all green. And that is the different variety of corn. Planted it that way, and we actually sampled both brands of corn. The other day we took some of one and then some of another one. We sent it in for a feed analysis to see once if one is better than the other. I should have probably planted it in a 12-row planter, what we planted with. I should have went like every other row, then I would have had a better blend. As I was chopping through the field, I would have dry and green going in the chopper at all times. I have done that in the past, where I planted it, mixed it throughout the planter. That way it blends in better as you're chopping through the field. Chopping can be very stressful sometimes. This can go wrong at any time. As you can see, the flat tire, every once in a while the chopper head does plug up. So it can be a stressful time, and this hot weather don't help matters, because sometimes it makes things worse. We was wanting to wait till it cooled off, but the corn was getting dry enough where we had to get going. The headlamp's done. The only headlamp I gotta do is that little one up there on the end, but I can't do that yet. It's kind of, I got this chopping now.
This is the wagon that had the flat tire. And just like magic, while we were on the south end, Ben came in here like some kind of ghost whisperer, and he fixed that for us. Let's do a double
flat tire whisperer.
Flat tire whisperer. Good as new. Tire fixed. before.
What's that?
That was a pretty smooth transition.
Yeah.
You can see it does a really good job of cleaning up. You don't see corn cobs. You hardly see any corn unless it got smashed into the ground. It's about time to call it quits for this evening and head back to the farm. It's close to 8 o'clock and Gerard is bringing the equipment home, checking things over, refueling, so it's all ready for tomorrow.
Checking the tension on the chain, trying to check everything over, get it ready for tomorrow. Got a couple things I might have to grease, fuel, put fuel in the tractor, have it all ready to go for the morning. Just checking the shear pins, make sure they're tight right here.
So if something happens to those, that's safety.
If those pins shear, it's because too much stuff came in the cutter head, and it's to protect it from getting tore up. Could be maybe a piece of wood or maybe a piece of steel or anything. If that shears, then you got to investigate to make sure there ain't something in there. And sometimes they shear if they get loose, and that's just from using it so much.
Let's see what's in the secret box.
It's a chain compartment. You got it. This is a slip clutch. If this gets wore out, then you have to take this apart, put new slip plates in there. We did it last year because it was slipping. Every once in a while you get a little bit too much corn coming in the head and it would slip and plug up. And so we took it apart, put new ones in, and that took care of the problem. But
all lined up and ready for tomorrow.